Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here today to help, just to help us along. And we're all going to work together. This is a workshop. So, and I was just sharing earlier how it's so important that when we relay our message, it's powerful, it's to the point, people are listening, they like what you're saying, and you want them thinking or asking more questions and wanting to know more. Okay. And I remember, and I was just in a share that probably Joan and Mary Ellen, you probably remember in the early days, sometimes we'd say too much, right? And we'd ramble because we want to tell them everything that we learned about Neo life right away. And it can be overwhelming and we can lose people. So we really want to make sure that when you're sharing your story, talking about Neo life, that it's impacting them in some way, okay? And that you can relate to them and that they relate to you. And Joan's gonna, I'm share her screen shortly, but I some of the points that that Joan shared with me with the workshop that she did, that I love this. Don't make a point without telling a story, and don't tell a story without making a point. Okay, so there has to be a point to what you're sharing. And I know that's kind of deep, and with Neo Life, we're going to go through some of the things and some of the wording that you can be doing, and start and end your talk powerfully. And I think sometimes I forget to do this. Okay, guys, I'm really glad that I'm doing this with you guys, because this is even helping me remember what I need to do when I'm doing my story. Your beginning is critical. It's your opportunity to capture their attention. And this is where you prove you have something relevant and important to convey. And your ending matters because it determines the impression that you will leave your listeners. Okay, so you got to kind of close with again, just wanting them to know more and ask questions. Okay, really important. And you got to make your audience care, explain your idea clearly with conviction, describe your evidence, call to action, like how and why, and reveal the new reality, how the lives of the audience members will be affected if they act on your idea. Okay, so if they say yes to Neo Life, how will it impact their life? And I think that's what we have to make sure that we leave with our audience as well. Okay, so just a couple of key points. And Joni, did you want to share a little bit, and then we're going to dive right in and literally start creating your story. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through everybody individually on some. If you've already created your story, we'll have you read it or say it if you've memorized it. Some of you have put some points together, and we'll help you with those points, and we'll work together and create your story. So Joan, did you want to?
Yeah, this thing about what's the point, you know, we were joking around yesterday with my friends when we were talking, so what's the point of what we're saying, you know? And it's a good thing to remember, what's the point of what I'm saying? So what's the point of your story or a testimonial? Figure out why, you know, you're not just saying stuff, right? And I think sometimes we just report stuff, but what's the point of it, right? So the point of it, I guess, is that to share your vision. You want them to share in your vision, right? That's one thing. Or you want them to buy products, say, hey, you know, I have this condition. I think I'm going to get those products. Or you want them to do business, either become a promoter, saying, you know what, I think I'd like to do this to help other people. So that's the whole idea behind our story. It's not just a matter of just relaying information, right? So keeping that in mind, that's how and that I had mentioned about the beginning. So when I do my story, I feel it's mundane. That's how I feel. You know, I'm telling them this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened, right? So this guy here that the workshop was from, this guy. I think he's a CEO of TED Talks. You know, TED Talks. They really get people to prepare the talks, right, to be so effective. So he talks about the start and the ending, and I'm trying to get a start to mine that sort of relates to me. It has to be you as well. You can't do something that outrageous, and you have to feel comfortable doing it, right? So I was trying different ones, and also the ending, right? The call to action. You know, I don't feel I have a strong call to action. I say, oh yeah, I'm a breast cancer thriver, but I'm not calling to action. I'm not, you know. So that's where I feel I have to really do something about my story, right? And what I started doing is I guess putting down the points. What points are we going to make, right? Because if we don't do that, we ramble on. Because if I'm not ready, I sort of ramble. So you want to try to avoid rambling. And even this guy here who's saying when they're doing their presentations, they have to rehearse it and they even try to memorize it too. And then when you memorize, it just falls off your tongue. You don't have to read it, but it comes natural to you. That's what those guys on TED Talks do. So ours is a little easier job, right? Because it's only it's just a short testimonial, a small story. But I think if you follow those guidelines, because we want to be effective, that's the main idea, right? So that's why I thought it'd be great to do a workshop and don't think of it as we're trying. We're not being critical, right? But we're trying to be effective today. If we give ideas like helping each other, right? Don't take it personally, right? It's all about getting to the point.
Awesome. Thanks, Joni. Did you have anything to share by PowerPoint or no?
No. I was just
okay. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, cool. Mansuda, I think you said you had prepared something already. Are you okay to start off your like what you put together, and then we can help you and guide you through that and give you some points?
Yeah, I can do that. I just feel that Ian and Sherry were here before me, so I don't know. Like before I logged in, they were there before.
Well, that's okay. We're all going to take our turn, and I'm going across the screen. So you're the first left on my screen. That's why.
Okay. Can I share my screen?
Yes, you can.
I just made a very last moment PowerPoint.
Yeah, for sure. This might even help us a little bit. We can take some pointers.
Okay, can you see?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right, so I haven't quite memorized, but I will. So my journey with, first of all, happy birthday, Nada. And so I shared a message with Nada of what her name means, but she can share that with you after. So my journey with Neolife, when one cares, to hear words like, I could eat dash and dash after years without ill effects, to get normal, regular menstrual flow after 2 decades, losing 6 pounds in 2.5 weeks, just disciplining myself and understanding the food reaction. The day is full of energy, the crippling hip joint pain, it should be joined there, is almost history now. So this has been my journey with Neolife in the last 4 months. And it feels like I'm on cloud 14 for sure. So how I met Nada and Leon is a story in itself for another time, but the products are for sure showing a change. What makes the journey profound is the first point I feel is the transparency and having real scientists, health professionals such as cardiologists, pharmacists, pediatricians in the team, that itself speaks volumes. The whole food nutrition, GMO free, not only in words, but in data, peer-reviewed clinical proofs, not a single recall in 60 plus years. That's like phenomenal. Supportive team at every step. And why do I say that? What better example than someone spending more than an hour to support her team despite being her birthday, a day to chill. So that shows how much Neolife is supporting each other. So distinct emphasis between being self-centered and selfless. Neolife has an entrepreneur aspect of giving benefit to self, others by having club members on your team and growing from there, becoming a promoter. Business may be a far-fetched dream, which truly was or maybe is for me as well. I'm still gaining my ropes there, but less than $100 to take you on a journey, safely, securely stepping from one stone to another, holding each other's hands and wanting the best for all, that for me is a highlight. So if we all feel healthier, we would want to reach out and see a smile on yet another person's face who is silently suffering and not even knowing that there is help. Not only that there is help, it's so close by and it's safe. Would you like to have some more information on Neolife?
Wow. Okay, I think she put us all to shame.
Okay, no.
Fantastic. Oh my God.
And any feedback?
It's a hard act to follow.
It is. And you know what, Mansuda, that what you just did there is amazing, especially for a group presentation when you're introducing and inviting somebody to come and take a look and then continue on with a presentation, to do a basic health talk. Absolutely fantastic. Anybody else? Like for a large group event, right, Joni?
That's powerful. It's all heart. You can feel it and it's powerful, but it's for a presentation.
Yeah, definitely for presentation. And then for your story, like for a shorter version, there's going to be, we all have to have, I think, 3 different versions. Okay. Also one that will be like a 1 to 2 minute when you're first connecting with somebody. What would be another example, Joan?
When you're doing a presentation, the health talk, like going on a health talk is different from when you're meeting someone, right?
Right.
So like Hassan's story has really, I think it's more powerful than my own, because he's just showing everybody his belt, you know, how the notches have moved.
So Untitled Chapter is good too.
Yeah.
It's all action. Like he doesn't have to say anything. He just does that melt, open, close, and oops.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. But I think I would like to have some feedback, like you're saying, the beginning story. So I mean, it's just a brief moment, and maybe we can discuss that later so that everybody has a chance.
Yeah. So maybe what you and I and Leonie can do, you can send me your PowerPoint or write it out maybe in 1 page, and then we can dissect it and say, this is great for when you're doing a big group. And then let's pick these, like maybe a couple of lines from each section to do your 1 to 2 minute story.
Okay. Yeah. So I have it printed there. So I'll just send you the attachment, because I timed it to be 2. It was 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's great.
So follow the guide in our book, right? In our in our book. What's the name of the book?
Getting started
guide. Yeah.
I think the difference is doing what's in the getting started and just thinking about an open and a closing, and you add both.
Thank you.
Oh no, it was actually I was like I couldn't wait to hear the next, like to see the next line, like to hear the next thing. So that was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, the flow was fantastic. Okay, anybody else have something prepared?
No, I just wanted to make another comment on Mansoor's presentation. It was like you were teaching us all about neolife.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like I didn't know some of that stuff, or I didn't know how to express it anyway. So I really like that.
I think the gist I feel was the Simply Solutions, whereby I really like that clip that she goes on without mentioning neolife till the end. And I feel that's very powerful. Yeah. Thank you, Van.
Thank you, Wen. Any other feedback or?
Well, I just want to say I felt that it was very well presented, but also it was it was one of caring, that you really had that person's situation in mind, and you really wanted to help. It showed your sincerity with, and also being professional in terms of presenting it, the words that you use, very heartfelt. So they knew you're genuine.
Yeah. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah.
I think Mansoor's story could be used even when we close our health talks at the end. You know, Joan, how you do your business story. I think Mansoor would be somebody that can share, because it's early, because she's early in her business, and to have all of that happen in a short time, and now venturing into the business as a senior manager. I think that'd be a great for especially for new people that are looking at this. Because when they hear Joan and Nat and, Mary Ellen, we've been around for, so many years, and yeah, we're generating income and we're full time in the business, but it's great to hear a new person's perspective in the business and your business journey. So I would love to have you share that what you just did without a PowerPoint, unless, I think it's better for you just to say it. In that situation, if you're doing a health talk or like your own specific talk to your own group, then definitely I would say you can bring it up as a PowerPoint and then carry on into a PowerPoint presentation. So
Thank you. Yeah, that's a good feedback. Thank you.
awesome. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else prepare anything? I asked you, even just points, key
I'll
points.
go,
Ian.
Nada.
Okay, go for it.
So I've been up since 3 a.m, so I'm pretty tired to be late, and I've been working since then.
Okay.
But I'm there with you. I was able to get through it myself with a little bit of help from my friends. I had a father and brother die young in the family from heart conditions, and I was a smoker for 40 years, and I started to feel my heart, which wasn't a very good feeling. At the time, my girlfriend tried to introduce me to it, and I was flubbing it aside and saying, no, I don't think that's going to be anything for me. It took about 2 years of watching her son taking the product, shakes every day, and watching how little he ate and how much money or how much energy he had. And I decided to give it a try. Since then, I've lost 50 pounds. I feel great. I have lots of energy. And now, 3 months into it, I'm taking just about everything that I can. I feel great. If you've been in my situation, you probably don't believe that you can get out of the smoking and out of the drinking and start exercising again. And I'll guarantee it, if you start feeling better, just whatever it takes to start feeling better, it'll work. So, you could be, you can choose or you can not choose, but if you are, and you're open to it, I can send you some information.
Wow, that's a great beginning and an ending. What was that one line you said about something about you faded a little bit, like sound wise, about taking something, you added, like it was.
And now I take it just about everything.
Now I'm taking just about everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I would take that out when you're introducing somebody new.
Oh, okay.
When we say, I'm thinking another thing, maybe you guys can help me with this, because if you say, because I take everything, okay, and if you were to tell people that, the only thing I don't take is probably the masculine herbal complex. So, you know what I mean? If you tell people that, they're gonna like, how much is that costing you? Like people right away think, oh, how much is that costing you, right? Especially because they don't know, right, what the products are. So just maybe you can just say, I've been trying a few different products that I've added because of my health challenges, right? Something like that. And adding some of these key products have also impacted my life. So they might be thinking, oh, there's other things too that I could look at, right? Not say, oh, I take everything, something like that. What do you guys think?
Just even saying you love the products and you're feeling great.
Right.
I am, but it's hard to remember everything and get through it when you're in the grocery store line.
Yes,
that's whatever, right?
That's why writing it down and reading it, saying it aloud a few times, even practice with Sherry. When you're together, just practice, and eventually it'll just.
Well, we talk about it, but I was going to do a PowerPoint too, and I thought, I'm not there. I'm not going to be holding a crew of 20 people and going through a PowerPoint until I can get through 1-minute conversations.
And Ian, that's why we're here. Honestly, we're working together as a team. I'm not expecting you to create a PowerPoint. I just want you to be able to do what you just did when you're meeting somebody in a grocery store or meeting an old friend, or starting a conversation with somebody and they ask you, wow, you look great, what did you do? And then just share your journey. I want you to be able to just roll off like what you just did, just tweak it a little bit. Okay, just take out that you take just about everything.
Ian, I just started my business one-on-one. That's the best way to start it. And, and if you do meet someone and you forget something, they don't know anyways, it doesn't matter, right?
Right.
As long as you're talking, I know Jim Stevenson told me, if you talk from the heart and you believe what you're saying, it doesn't have to be perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of connecting with that person, and people will feel that from you more so than even what your words are saying.
Right, and so I'm trying not to make it a script. I'm trying to make it sincere, because I feel like I'll make it sound flippant, like I'm talking down to somebody, or saying you should do this because I did it and I'm better than you, or something like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Can I just say something, Ian? I I work in a retail environment, and especially I'm in the fitting room, and sometimes I literally have 5 to 10 seconds or less. And when, for example, the other day I had one lady, she says, she was trying on something and she goes, oh my gosh, I have to wear something really not too tight because my fibromyalgia hurts me. Like she said, so I caught on that, and then she went in and I came out and I had my phone number there. And I said, look, I said, I mean, I can't really talk to you much, but listen, I heard that you had fibromyalgia, and I know, are you interested? Are you open to listening how you can, how I can help you? And she goes, yeah, absolutely. I said, here's my number. Give me your number, like really quick. And I've done that many times, and then I follow up. So sometimes, like Nana was saying, Mary Ellen, sometimes you just have to do it a few seconds. You don't have to go the whole story, because that whole story will be later, and you catch them at what hurts them more. And when you come across sincerely, they will respond. Either they say 2 answers, yes or no. That's it, right? So that's how I do it in that sense, if that helps.
And that's the way I tried to
Getting
start it.
the-
I tried to start it thinking about the fact that somebody was talking to me and they were like, I'm feeling like crap because of my heart or whatever it was.
Mhm.
But it's hard to
And you'll get used to it, because there's sometimes you just pick 1 or 2 important, pertinent sentences that are important to you. And then just that sometimes you just have that very small window. That's what I find, because people are always rushing around, right? So sometimes they won't have time.
Mansuda has her hand up. I know you've had it up for a while, Mansuda.
Yeah, I wanted to thank you, Ian, because yes, PowerPoint may be good eye-catching, but I wouldn't be able to do it like Leon is saying. And so I think your story has its own great power, that yes, it took you 2 years to get convinced, but that means you are truly convinced. And like you're saying, right, it's in the grocery store, whereby no, I won't have my laptop nor my PowerPoint ready. So so yeah, your story has its great power within that. Good work.
I think too, Ian, with a one-on-one, you won't be reciting 2 minutes of stuff, right? Because it's an interchange, right? You're going back and forth with the person, you're asking questions, and back and forth. I think that's more natural too. And one thing about your closing, you can just remind people, don't wait too long, like you did. Something to
yeah,
that.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, just one piece of advice I would like to share with you is don't wait too long like I did.
Yeah.
I wish I would have said yes to Sherry 2 years ago. So then the people start thinking, oh, okay, maybe I should take a look. Maybe I should give me more information, right? Excellent, Joan. Thank you.
Sending messages. It's messages we're sending in our stories, And that's one of them.
Don't wait too long. Yeah, that's great. I love that quote. Excellent.
Thank you, folks.
Awesome. All right, who else? Who else is ready? Any points, your own story, or if you have some points, we can work with you to create something.
So maybe I'll share.
What do you want to share, Joni?
Evolving. I'm trying to get the beginning stuff. Well, how can I start, right?
Okay.
So first I started saying, I wish I'd seen this information 30 years ago, right? Something to that effect. Oh,
Yeah.
what I did was I said, so it depends on what message you're trying to relay, right? I'm trying to relate to that it's a personal responsibility. That was my health was a personal responsibility. So I have here, this is, I might change this, it's evolved.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, give us all some ideas.
New life has helped me or has given me the tools to take personal responsibility for my health and my life. That's just one sentence that like in the beginning, right? And then I went on to say when I was introduced to New Life. Now, and what I did too was sometimes I forget my points. So I'm writing down the points as to what I'm going to say, right? So what was my problem? My problem was a post-chemotherapy. I was tired, stressed, poor immune system, right? And what did I see? I think we did it. There was a session the other day where they talked about, what did you see? I saw, I was drawn to the science behind the products and the fact that it was made from whole foods. That resonated with me. And then what happened? Right? Well, I shared my story. I got great results. I shared my story. And it just evolved into a small business where I was getting small checks monthly. And so what else happened? What did it do for me? So the point is early retirement. It's given me a purpose and a platform to continue helping people because that's what I did as a nurse. Part of a great community that was meaningful to me. Financial rewards, and I can pass on my business to my kids. Right? So those are the things that I'll work on. And then, so this is my call to action.
Yes, that's the key.
What was my call to action? I have all the pages that have been.
Call to action's the end, right?
Mhm.
Please don't wait as long as I did.
Yeah, like what? That's perfect. Please don't wait as long as I did. Yeah. Or don't wait till you get sick. If people aren't sick, like don't wait until you're not well.
Where's my page? Sorry, guys. I have all these pages.
Even the outline in the Getting Started book asks all those questions, right? Like just answering those is the best way for someone new, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they could add a beginning line, possibly, and then the calling to action. And that's what I found was missing from mine. I think Heather is really good at calling to action. I remember hers. She's always calling to action, right, Heather? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember.
I think she does it naturally. I don't think she realizes that she has that structure in place, but it's a natural thing for Heather.
Yeah, it really is, because you have to remember the call to action is you have to remember you're actually talking to a person. Mm-hmm. So, you talk to the person. It's just not you relating a story. So yeah, it's like, so really just like that one question, like if you didn't do anything different, what's your life going to be like in 5 years, 10 years? Like I was already looking ahead to my pension, to my retirement. I thought, I don't like the picture that's painting if I don't do anything different right now. So that's my point. Mm-hmm. If the person's in that, everything's rolling along. I mean, we're living day to day, but yeah, that's what had me think about it. I was looking ahead, and if they haven't looked ahead, well, take a minute, look ahead. Is there something you can change? I didn't have any energy. I didn't have any time for a business, but I knew if I didn't change something. So I said yes. And that yes gave me more energy. And I wanted to share that, right? So yeah, I think that's where the call to action comes from. You're just talking to a person. So just relate to them.
Excellent. Thank you, Heather.
I'll come back with my ending when I find it.
Oh, you have it on your paper somewhere on your desk, Joni?
And sometimes if you're meeting one-on-one, the call to action is if I could show you, if let's say they said they're tired, if I could show you something natural that would give you more energy, would you be open to like me giving you a video, a share, whatever? That's your call to action, right? Just filling the need, right?
Mm-hmm. Ian just had a question. Do you wait for your beginning opening, something to trigger your interaction?
Yeah, so it doesn't sound unnatural. So when you're in the line and somebody says, oh, I wish I blah, 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 and then you get a trigger and then you go, or you just sort of make it trigger.
Well, what's natural? Whatever's natural, you don't have to have the beginning if it's not natural,
Sometimes I ask more questions if they say, and I say, oh, what have you been doing to, and they'll say, oh, well, I've been doing this and this. And I said, how's it working? Oh, it's not working. And then you can lead in. Then you're not jumping right on them, right? Ask a couple, or even just get to know them a little bit, chat with them. How you doing,
And then what you can say, Ian, is then you can say, yeah, I kind of remember, a couple of years ago when I was in that same situation where, somebody that I knew who was my wife today, right? You can even say that, tried opening my eyes and to help me. And I'm glad. I know I waited 2 years, but I kicked myself. But I've tried something and it's really changed my life. Would you be open to learning a little bit more about it? Because that was your journey. Say, yeah, I kicked myself. 2 years ago, my wife now, 2 years ago, who tried helping me and reaching out, and I wasn't open, and I wish I was. And just say I'm so grateful that I did, because it's changed my life. So something along those lines. Again, depends on, you're right, Mary Ellen, when you're doing the conversation, you're kind of asking them more questions to find out more of their pain, and then you can relate to their pain. So just remember, you're developing like a quick friend, right? But a true friend, and somebody that they have to feel that you're being sincere and kind and caring. That's the main thing, not trying to sell them something. And that's why asking questions and finding out more about them is really, really important, even though sometimes it's such a short time frame. Okay. Because I used to make mistakes, say, oh, would you like samples? Give out all these samples, and it's like, okay, this isn't working, right? You just wanted to try the product, right? But it doesn't work all the time. So you've really got to build that trust and build that relationship and get them wanting them to try the product, right?
Do you have business cards that you pass out to people if you say meet somebody in the grocery line?
For me?
Anybody that's here today?
I do have business cards, but I don't give it to them. And I have my phone, and I just say, hey, if you'd like, I can send you some information. We've got this great app. Are you okay if I grab your number and your email, and I'll give you my business card? Get their information first. Put it in your phone right away. I put in the phone while they're with me. I get them to look at it to make sure that the email was put in correctly. Then I text them. I'll say, hey, Nada here. Great to meet you in the No Frills lineup, because I forget sometimes who they are when I enter them in my phone, forget their name, where they are, what was that person's name again? So that's what I do. So then when I go home, then I see, oh yeah, there's that person in my contacts, and then I send them information through the app. And anyway, so just make sure that you do that, because it's really important to get their information and then give them your card.
And then you add them to your list of
helps.
names.
Thank you.
And then add them to your list of names. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've done that so many times where I've just, they say, oh, can I have your card? Oh, can I have your card? No one ever. I would say in 30 years, maybe one person called me in that scenario where I give my card. Does not work.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think now too, in this day and age, people are so tech savvy. To me, like, you get a business card. I mean, I have so many at home here, but to me, it's redundant, because unless it's a very quick one, but unless you don't have time to take their name and number, this phone thing is, everybody's tech savvy now, almost everyone. And you just get the information, and it's really quick, especially as it relates to the app, because then I ask them, hey, should I email you, or are you a person who checks your messages? And then you qualify them right at that point, and they say, no, I'd rather do text. So then you have that information, and like Nada says, like, confirm what the information is, that you've got it right? So I sometimes will hand them my phone, because they know the information, they type faster than I can. So with misspellings and stuff, so it's safer that way if you have that opportunity. Otherwise, the little sticky note is easy. That's what I do.
Yeah. Mansoura, you have your hand up again?
I just wanted the Africa Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
The one when she talks about the products, I think it's a good one to listen to, just to make an impact of a product. I find just the way she's relaying it is so natural that even if we can listen to her once, we'll get the gist of it. Every time it's a different product. But I think, when we are saying that we are in that short span of time when talking to people, but that's a good place if we can spare. Patience, thank you for sending
which one is that? Because I haven't really, I've kind of looked at
those are on Thursdays at 1:00 our time. So it's 8 p.m. for them. And they have a very brief introduction, and then she starts talking about, so last time she was talking about stress, but the way she talks about you can pick out one or two lines from there, which I think can be a great asset when we are talking to others. And they have like 300 plus people on that platform.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
It's also available. They usually post them online.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is
I
it
can
recorded?
send it to you and then you can send it on the group.
That'd be great. And then this way you can pick and choose when you have time to look at it, to
Mhm.
get some ideas for sure. So
Yeah.
what you're sending, is it the whole link to all the recordings or just?
No,
a
no,
specific
it's the
one?
same link like the way you are sending. And then
Okay.
every Thursday is a different topic. It's just that for me to listen to it after the fact, I feel I never get around doing that. So I'd rather aim to listen to it at 1 o'clock if I have the time on Thursday.
Okay. Okay, so they're not recorded then, or the patients, you probably know this answer.
They are recorded.
Mhm.
Okay,
They're recorded and they're posted on YouTube. So if you have the time, you can find them. I can send the YouTube channel.
that'd be great. Because I think you have in the past, but I think I should save it and then go back and look at it. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah, it's always great to get ideas on how other teams are doing, for sure. Thank you.
And the South African product manager does a presentation, I think, once a month on the products, or like the neo life story on the different products.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you. All right. Anybody else have their little points or story that you want us to?
I have my ending.
Oh, good. Go, Joni.
You have the beginning part and I thread that to the end, right? So I talked about personal responsibility, right, of my health. And I said, by taking responsibility for my health, by saying yes to the Neolife products and the community, I'm happy to say I'm a 29-year breast cancer thriver, and I feel better in my 60s than I did in my 30s. Yes, the earlier you start, the more years of good health and vitality you'll have ahead of you. But I think the best time to start is now, wherever you are.
Ooh, that was great. There you go. Excellent. Any feedback on that? Do you want to send that? Can you send that out in an email to us and we can look at it? Because I think some of those words we won't use it exactly, but there's some great points.
Yeah, everybody has different, like Ian has a different ending, right?
Sure.
Too long, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So we could, depending on your story, right? Depending on your story.
Okay. Any other ideas from anybody or points?
What message you want to send out? Everybody has a different message they want to send out.
Right. Anybody want to practice? Come on, this is for you guys. Okay, Wynn.
I'll practice. A while back, I was doing Zoom sessions to my club members and my 2 promoters, although they didn't come, but to my club members. And that had limited success. However, what I did before each topic, and the topics I was presenting were the ones from the Health Expo. So they were Neolife promoters who also had some good credentials behind them, and they were talking about different aspects. So when I was showing the one on digestion, I made up a little preempt for that, a little testimonial for myself. So I said, I was introduced to the products about 34 years ago by my best friend, Lynn. In my journey to great health and through some less healthy moments, I experienced a lot of digestive issues: bloating, gas, heartburn, constipation, diarrhea, you name it. I was a commercial. I had a couple of things that were not working in my favor in my general health. I was diagnosed with low thyroid in my late 30s. So I had a decreased metabolism to begin with, and that led to problems with digestion. And secondly, I had my gallbladder removed to work in the north in my mid 40s. So again, potential struggles with fat digestion. So even today, I take care of my good digestion. I kind of jumped there. I don't even talk about getting the good digestion, but it's my closer. Even today, I take care of my good digestion using the Neolife products.
Oh, yeah.
So that would be.
No, let me, I might be able to do it by myself anyway.
Tina.
Why don't you go around to
Yeah, I'll just unmute Christina. Sorry. It's okay. So when that story would be your, I guess, your health testimonial during a talk when we're talking about digestion, or when we're doing a health talk in general, then that could be one of your, like that would be your testimonial, right?
I obviously have to flesh it out a bit, really, to make it more meaningful.
I wouldn't say meaningful. I mean, that's what you experienced, right? That was your health journey. But when you're doing like a general story, I think like Joan didn't go into all the details of all the different health challenges. So that's why that would be more specific. I think, Joni, what do you think? That would be like a more.
I think when it's a little too many details, I think you have to generalize a little bit more, because
Right.
by saying you have digestive issues, really bad digestive issues, or something to that effect, right? I think it's too much information, right?
That would be my life.
Everything, but this is a different an audience that
Because not everybody in the audience will have all those things that you shared or talked. That will be more later when you're having conversation. Then you can give them all that detail. What kind of digestive trouble did they have? Someone can say, I had, this, and I have that. Say, yeah, well, I had that too, and I had this, and this. You know what I mean? So that would be more of like a expanding and giving more detail.
Yeah, it's a spiffit.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Okay.
What's your general story though, Anne? This is a story for your digestive presentation. So would you have a different story, right?
Oh my, well, I think you've all heard it 100 times. I'm always talking about it.
It's just, remember when the question you said, what's the point?
Yeah.
Good thing, what's the point of what I'm saying? And then it puts you on track.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the product story that I've shared with you before, you've heard it, but I'll say it again. I was first introduced to Neolife over 34 years ago by my friend Lynn. Her story about the solid science behind the products was compelling. I was unaware that I had any health concerns, and I just wanted to maintain my great health. An ounce of prevention, right? I started with the foundation program. Later, thinking back, I did have a couple of health concerns. I had classic migraine. I had a low thyroid and requiring hormone replacement, but it was high cholesterol 15 years later that woke me up. Many members in my family struggled with heart disease and diabetes type 2, and I neither wanted to join them nor take medications as treatment. I was aware there was a wealth of Neolife products and testimonials about them. I added the heart health regimen after consulting with Lynn. At that time, I was a nurse practitioner working in a rural setting. It had its perks in that I could interpret my own blood work and order it. I was aware, over the next 6 months, I watched my cholesterol profile improve dramatically until it was normal. To this day, some 30 plus years later, my annual blood work continues to be outstanding. The disappearance of my migraine symptoms was a bonus I did not anticipate. A supplement in the heart health regimen with anti-inflammatories properties reduced my migraines. Even my thyroid hormone therapy is lowered over the years. I'm aging gracefully and maintaining my good health.
Okay, now call to action. Something along, have you ever, something, I don't know, what do you think? Something like, have you ever taken a serious look at your health journey? Would you like to, I don't know, give me some words, guys. Like something where she was asking them to, is this a journey?
If there's one thing that you could change in your health, what would it be?
Thank you. Thank you, Heather.
If there's one thing that you could improve in your health, what would it be?
Excellent.
Like just keep it fairly light, but like really direct. What's one thing? Maybe it's eczema. Maybe,
Right. That's a great point, Heather, because when talked about things that people might not have wrong with them, right? So you want them thinking, well, I don't have, thyroid issues, I don't have cholesterol issues, but I have this, right?
Right.
Okay.
So that even might be a beginning question if there's some kind of a lead in to it, because otherwise, like you say, if they don't relate to something you said specifically, they've turned off and it's not relating anymore.
Right.
So unless it's really general, and
what if they say, oh, I'm fine, I'm healthy, I eat natural, I am good, I don't have any problems, which you often hear.
Yeah, just say that's fantastic. Would you like to stay that way?
Yes, or as I said to my son, are you waiting until you get sick?
Right. Are you? Yeah. Don't wait. Then that's great. Don't wait till something does happen. This is more of a.
Or that's really great. Wouldn't it be great if more people were like that? If more people were healthier? Do you know, like, isn't it crazy this health crisis we're in? I'm not talking about COVID, I'm talking about chronic disease, right?
Sure.
So like, is there anybody else that, you wish could be as healthy as you are? That's great. Let's spread the word.
I would use you, Lily. I thought I was too, right? And then I got this diagnosis. I was eating right. I was doing all right.
True.
That's particular to me, right?
Yeah.
So, by the way, I'm sorry I was late, but I did text Nada.
Yeah, we recorded it, Yuli. You can go back and listen to the beginning. No problem. And Mansuda has her hand up again.
Sometimes it's the what did they call it? The hey, what's that phrase?
If I would you.
Just something like the silent. I don't want to use the word killer, but like the sugars, right? The hidden,
hidden,
right?
There's a lot of hidden things going
I'm
on.
thinking of that phrase of hey in a. I can't think of it. Right? So it's there. It can be very harmful if we don't pick it out on time. But then I'm even realizing that how many those silent needles are there in our haystack.
There you go.
And sometimes the person will actually discover for themselves that there might be something more. I just talked to a lady yesterday. She's, I don't know, about 80, I guess. And she was saying, you know what, I'm starting to feel kind of tired. And she said, but I eat really well. I just lots and lots of fruits and vegetables, and this and that. And I said, well, that's wonderful. That is really, really great. But you're kind of a little tired. She said, yeah, I'm kind of wondering if maybe there might be something else that I'm missing. Like, whoa, she's speaking my language, And I said, yeah, I thought that too. And did you know there actually is something missing? So if I could show you what was missing, if I could show you what was missing, could I send you some information? Oh, she said, absolutely. So they will sometimes, you just keep them talking and they'll discover that maybe there's something else that they didn't know.
Excellent.
I'd like to share just sort of, you've kind of heard my story along, but I'm kind of revising it a bit, and it's more in the business, but of course it has health in it too. So I'm just going to start, okay? And it's just rough notes right now.
Yeah.
So my husband is an engineer, but I never even thought that I would be in business at all. Like, I was teaching full time. And I was very, very tired and stressed. And I actually wanted to leave my teaching career early, but I was holding on because of the pension. My husband had started his own consulting company. We had 2 daughters in high school. They were looking at post-secondary education. So we needed the extra income for monthly expenses. But even more than that, I was looking for a business that I could start that would supplement my pension in retirement. Well, fortunately for me, one of my parent volunteers asked if I'd be open to hearing some information that could help me with my stress and energy. So of course I said yes. Within a few weeks, I started feeling better. And then just by sharing how I was feeling, my business started to grow. So I retired from teaching before I reached full pension. And, I'm just continuing to grow my business, and I'm looking for people to help me with that because, there's so many people who are needing something for their health. I want to help people, families. So I want to help families be healthy and to, I don't know, I haven't got the ending yet, something like that. Now, 23 years later, I'm expanding my business because I want to help more families to be healthy. And I don't know, I don't like the phrase and have more financial security. I'm not offering them financial security, financial flexibility, and maybe, help them to see that there's something that will give them financial flexibility.
Time and money freedom.
Yeah, and I really like the way you lead in, like your journey to the business, Heather, is very, very powerful, because a lot of people are in that same situation where they're not sure, right? But they know they want to do something, but they're not sure, right? So you painted a really good picture of, of that. So that's excellent.
Right. And the other thing is, people say, "Oh, I don't have the time," but I forgot to put in there. I often do say, I knew, like I even told them I didn't have the time or the energy to do any business. 23 years ago.
Yeah.
Heather, add in the teaching. You're continuing to teach. You're a teacher, right?
Yes. Oh, yes, that I am an educator. I'm still an educator. Because I used to say I'm not a born teacher, but actually I am, because I teach work walking, I teach curling, I teach about education on, I educate on wellness matters now. So so I am a born teacher, but I'm still an educator.
Yeah. In your closing.
Okay. Yeah. But I still need to get something like a call to action. I put in a phrase somewhere like, can you relate to that? Would you be interested in hearing something about, an additional source of income if it didn't interfere with what you're doing? I like that whole phrase. Right?
I like that phrase too.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm talking to a lot of people who are business owners, have their own business, and up here, and I think everywhere, they're suffering because they can't get staff. Staffing is a real issue, right? So I want to help the business owners have something else, and maybe that they could offer to their staff.
For sure.
Well, if you're talking to business owners, how about you won't have less hassles with this kind of business, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With you're building a business and you don't have the hassles of getting staff, right?
That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you can add something to the ending on that, or make a stronger beginning. What I wanted to do, like, what's the point? The point was touching on where people could relate. Yes, I have a husband who's self-employed. He's an engineer. We have daughters. They were looking at post-secondary education. I was a teacher. I was tired and stressed. I'm not going into specific, issues, but a lot of people are tired and stressed. So, and that was the key point for me to get started.
So this is your business, business and product, right?
Yes, it really is about a business, how, even if you don't see yourself as a business person, how sharing how you're feeling better can develop a business. 23 years later, left my teaching early. That was one thing I wanted, right? But I felt I couldn't because I didn't have the finances. But knowing I had something else on the side helped me to do that.
Maybe just asking the question, is this something that that you would like to take a look at that, will not interfere with what you're presently doing?
Yeah.
Just ask the question, because you are looking, because you're trying to get them to find out if they're interested in looking at a business opportunity, right? So you've given them your information, you've given them a little bit about your journey, your pain points, and your amazing solution. And I just ask the question.
And also too, the fact that you're both professionals, people are professionals, they don't need it, right?
Yeah.
We're not professionals, they just need some money. No, this is for professionals too. even though we're both professionals, right? We still need to look for that help. So you professionals too as well, that, oh, it's not just for a housewife doing it, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and a lot of self-employed people can relate to the fact that you do need some monthly income because the up and down of business, you know, it's not that steady.
Well, you know, they need it as well too. Right?
And I think also the key is letting them know that, because I think a lot of people think I don't have the time, when I'm going to fit this in. You know, if you say, you know, it doesn't really interfere with what you're presently doing, because I know that's your sole income, but if I could show you how you can earn a little extra on the side to help, you know, subsidize or have that little extra income, would this be something you'd like to take a look at? Right, just ask a question.
I think too, at the time, it also is your target audience, right? Whoever you're speaking at that point, if you're speaking to a younger person who's got kids, and then like Heather was saying, I mean, you know, you're saving for your college, your kids' college and stuff, so you can direct that business part. But yet, like you say, Nada, it's whether you can do it on your own time, you know, without interfering, bringing up your kids and stuff. And then if you're a person who is older, perhaps they're retired, then you can speak about that. So sort of on a quick thing, unless you know the person a bit more, but if it's just more of a, you know, a quick meeting, you can sort of try to size them up. But when talking to them, then you can fine tune to your points to that person's particular, you know, position, you know, what's happening in their lives for that brief second, depending on your availability or their availability at the time of that opportunity as well, right?
Yeah.
It's a target market, right?
Yeah, this isn't like the shortest, the briefest one. This would be like my ID from the business points. I'm filling them in on the blanks, but like I keep meeting people say, oh, maybe I'll retire in 5 years. And my question is, oh, then what? What are your plans? What do you want to do then? Right? What's that going to look like? So whatever it is they say, make a question.
And I think that's important, because then the conversation will continue.
It goes back to them.
Right. Back, yeah. Excellent.
That's great.
Did Lily, were you working on some points? You're muted, hon. I think you said you were working on some points.
Yeah, that's like it. I said, so what I wrote down is improving my health was never my concern. I figured I was healthy until I was suffering with colds every winter, until my sister opened my eyes to something she knew would help me. I agreed to take them, not because I really thought the pills would help, but rather because I figured this would stop her from constantly asking me, suggesting, telling me to take the product. I thought she would never broach the question again if I took it. I was so wrong. The product worked. The next year, it worked again. I was sold. Now I'm on a mission to share with everyone I meet that they don't have to settle for being sick. There's a solution, Neolife. Would you allow me to share with you what I found? Supplements that are based in nature and backed by science and improves your immune system.
Ah, that's a different twist.
I don't know if it shows the point or.
Well, you've asked the question. You've trying to add. I'm trying to think, adding more warmth somewhere, more heart. Even though maybe it's because you were still reading it and it doesn't flow as easily. Right. And I don't like the word pill. I don't know. What about you guys?
No, never.
Maybe take the word pill out. Read that line where she made me take a pill, or read that line again and see how you can make that sound a little warmer.
I agreed, not because I really thought the pills would help, but rather because I figured she would never broach the question again.
Not that the pills would help. So
Not that her product.
Products.
The products, yeah, I would say products, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not worried that that word pill, I don't know, for some reason, it just didn't feel like the right, didn't feel warm, the pill. It sounds like,
Medication.
almost, yeah, it sounds like almost medication, yeah.
I thought it was medication. When she introduced it first.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
I know I've changed it. Not
Like the
for
word
any
better, our
products
immunity.
would have the product, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like the word better, our immunity. Okay. Mansuda said she liked the word our immunity better than. Explain that, Mansuda. What?
I think the way she said it out, that would you use that to better your immunity? And I think the word immunity has a lot of strength, especially with our current situation. As soon as you bring immunity there,
Mhm.
there's I don't know, I felt that there was a light bulb kind
People
of.
start to think, right?
Mhm.
So that is.
And I don't think we use it too frequently in our conversations, that this would boost your immunity, right? We would talk about vitamins, we would talk about strength, energy, but I think the word immunity was very powerful.
Mhm.
I think
Explain,
that
take out immune system and say immunity.
Sorry?
No, my question is, instead of saying immune system, say immunity. That's what you're suggesting?
Yeah, probably, but I think just the word, the immunity, or the word immune, I don't know, for me, it was like a bulb. Okay, this is a word that it would be very useful, which personally, I feel that I don't use it in my conversation, even when talking about your life, right?
Gotcha.
We talk about it boosts your energy and all the other aspects, but I think, yes, it would better my immunity. Then, oh, wow.
Mhm. Yeah, immunity is important.
Just to comment on I think it was the last sentence. You say, would you allow me to share something? That's great. I like that. Asking the question. But then it seemed more, it sounded like a sales pitch when you give the 3 points about it. Maybe just saying proven products, just say proven. You don't have to give all the details about it, but just, really great. Make it a little more conversational, and just, could you read the last sentence?
Yeah,
There,
read the last
after,
line.
would you allow me to?
Now I'm on a mission to share with everyone I meet that they don't have to settle for being sick. There's a solution, new life. Would you allow me to share with you what I found? Supplements that are based in nature, backed by science, to improve your immunity. I got that.
Okay, just would you allow me to share what I found?
Mhm.
End of question. End of question.
And I wouldn't say Neo Life.
No,
Okay.
no, you found a solution. Would you allow me to share what I've found?
To the point.
End the question. Because after that, now you're doing a sales pitch.
Okay.
Thanks, Heather.
I have an opening that I thought, but I'm not sure it'll be your personality.
Okay. For you. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, she can tweak it.
I was a hard nut to crack. Something.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
If you could.
Good one.
Or we often say, I was very skeptical. People understand
Yeah.
skepticism.
I like that word, just being skeptical.
Yeah.
A lot of people are skeptical. And if somebody says, I'm really skeptical, I say, good, you should be. just like Lisa does in the video, right? Yes,
Yeah.
you should be.
Yeah.
Could I share with you what I found?
Right. Yes, you should be. And guys, one thing that people are telling me that, and I've been trying to do this a little more in my health talks, that some people have made comments, a little more expression, eyes widening, powerful. Okay. Whereas if you just say, hi, my name is Donna St. Germain, I was introduced to Neo Life, say, I was introduced to Neo Life 30 years ago. And man, like, do you see what I'm doing? Even though you can't see all my movements in my hands, if you start talking with a little more expression, that feeling, believe it or not, comes through the screen. I didn't know that until people started saying to me, Nada, what's different about the last few weeks of doing it? Because someone said to me, you're so expressive. I can see the shine when you talk. Do you see what I'm doing right now? Like, to see how so I'm not saying you have to be as much as me, but try to practice opening your eye. Even Shelly the other night, I said to her, I said, you were more passionate tonight. You were more, she goes, yeah, she goes, I felt it. Whereas before she would be more like, because she is a teacher, she's more studious, she's more professional. So she'll do her talk, but she does have a heart too, right? Okay. So when she started sharing with a little more compassion, she came through the screen. So practice a little bit. And I know it might feel uncomfortable a little bit, even for you, Joni. Okay. Like, try to be a little more, don't just sit there, move a little bit. Right? Like, be expressive, because people feel that passion. So that's something that I really feel will help you guys just get people listening more. Wow, she's really passionate about what she's saying. Because remember what Jim used to say, right? It's not so much what you say, it's how you say it. Does that make sense? Okay, so don't be stone-faced and just sitting there and just saying your story, right? Like right now, Joan, honestly, right now, smiling. I'm serious. Your face lightens up. Now I want you to share your story. I'm serious, people, and even when you're on the phone, if you're not smiling when you're talking, people feel it. If you're smiling when you're on that phone, you know that they're smiling at the other end of that phone.
Remember, Ali used to say to have a mirror and watch yourself when you're talking, right?
Yeah. Because I've noticed that, because when I've gone back to look at some of the recordings, there's sometimes I can see, it's like, oh yeah, I can see why people, like, it's just not the same energy. I mean it, Joni, you smile more, your eyes lighten up. That's how you should be sharing your story.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you should talk about this. I was appalled. The word is appalled that day when I gave my testimonial, and like, I speak very expressively. I use my hands and I'm going all over the place, but I think I have not mastered the art of keeping still a little bit, because I'm going all over. And I looked at myself and my testimonial and I go, oh my gosh, it's like, because my eyes, when I'm talking, like even now, I'm talking to you guys, I'm moving all over the place and my guys all over the place. I need to center myself. And I think I can have that enthusiasm, but I think I need to look at the camera, because I really was appalled. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is not good, right? So that's a critical thing for myself. And I don't mind the criticism, because we're all here to help each other. And I'm like, oh, settle down, kid. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's what I need to learn how, like you guys are talking, you're looking at the camera.
Right. Look at the camera, but still be expressive.
Yes.
Smile, open your eyes, like bright.
Yeah. All my eyes are open. They're all over the place. That's the whole point, right? But I need to zoom in, and that's the funny thing. I'm going, okay, right, not too good, right? Because the camera does catch a lot of your expressions. But that's
and I think something that Wen said, oh, well, you've probably heard this 100 times. Well, some of us relate our stories as if people have heard it 100 times. You gloss over it. If there is one guest in that audience, they're the one that has to hear it as if it's the very first time. You are speaking to them for the very first time. So if we put that in our minds, like we are talking to somebody for the very first time when we're giving a testimonial on a Zoom call, right? Yeah, maybe 90% of the people in the audience have heard us before. Even still, it can get really mundane when you say it that way. So it has to be the first time, every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that, Heather, because sometimes there's some Zoom meetings we're all on, we start and there's no guests. But then as the presentation goes on, you've noticed some new people back coming on and you don't know whose team they're in. So we do need to treat that event like you're talking to somebody for the first time. And that's why you need to heart and that excitement and that expression needs to be there. Okay.
Even when we're not speaking too, right? In your little cubicle here, we have to brighten up too, right?
Yeah. Because I've noticed sometimes people will, if they're not talking or they're not participating, they're just sitting there like this. So I don't know if you notice, I'm smiling the whole time, and and it's for an hour, you got to sit there and nod, smile and nod, because people are watching other people.
Mhm.
Okay, they really are. So as a team, we need to make sure that we're engaged with the speaker.
So important. We used to actually have little sessions on meeting etiquette, in-person meeting etiquette when you're in a group, right? You bring the energy, you bring the positivity, you're engaged, you're quiet during somebody else is speaking, right? You're not speaking out of turn in that. So yeah, remembering to keep ourselves on mute so we don't have those little interferences sometimes. And that meeting etiquette, we can do it at Zoom. It's really important. We used to actually, that was a prime focus. Actually, it was in the literature, right? In the literature, in the agreement, right? How you are as a promoter affects the whole team, the whole company.
Mhm. Excellent.
I mean, there are times when you're on and say you have to go to the bathroom and someone is in the middle of their talk. You don't want to leave, you know, right in the middle of that. It's not a good thing. So you can wait.
Yeah.
Oh, you just go, be sure to turn your camera off if there's
Even
any
turning
disturbance
the camera
at all.
off too.
Yeah, well, if there's a large group, you might be on the second screen, people wouldn't notice. So rather have the camera go off.
If there is interruptions, if there is a bit of chaos happening, yeah. But it is a good idea to keep your camera on. I know sometimes, Ian, you can't because your Wi-Fi and in order for you to be able to participate. But for most of us, it is a good idea to keep, because I've been going to some networking groups and where you have a ton of people on and almost everybody is off. You just have their name, only a couple, and you're wondering, what are they really? And you know what? I'm going to be honest. When I turn my video off, it's because I've minimized the screen. I'm listening, but I'm doing other stuff. I'm doing emails. I'm sending text messages. Because I'm not really engaging in what they're doing. It's because my interest isn't 100%. So I thought to myself, when we're doing our Zooms and not everybody is on video, and sometimes it could be because no makeup, didn't have a shower that day. I totally get it, because that was like me this morning during my rosary group. I got up at 8:30 and rosary was at 9 and I had just got up. I'm like, okay, hair's up. I'm not putting my video on. Right? But I understand, you know, that happens sometimes. But I think as leaders, it's a good idea if we can have our video on. Be prepared for that meeting and nod and smile as people are speaking. I think as support for the event, I think it'd be helpful. Okay. And again, sometimes I know it can't happen because you're not, you know, ready or whatever, because you didn't shower that day. I totally get it. But if you're ready, it would be good to have your video off and on and smile and nod and engage.
Another reason that cameras are sometimes off is if internet is unstable.
Yes.
And we turn the camera off. So there's a tip and also a hint that that's sometimes why my camera's off, if I'm getting the unstable message and everybody freezes. So I just turn the camera off.
Right. And I know that happens with Ian a lot because we're the area that they live. So I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Anybody else have something prepared? Oh, sorry. When were you going to say something?
Patience has her hand up.
Oh, yes. Hi, Patience. Unmute though, hon. Oh, there you go.
Hi. I have my story, but an internet tip is one of the things on Zoom is because we have our cameras are not the high-tech cameras. So like Leonie said, minimizing motion helps, because sometimes when you keep on moving, expressing yourself, things on the camera freezes. So unfortunately, we have to kind of be in one place, but you can just use the face to do expressions.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Your facial expressions, eyes, smile, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the other thing is talking about the stories. I don't know, but usually, Nada, when you're starting your story, you start with, oh, some of you may have had my story. Like, I think sometimes you need to cut that out.
Thank you.
Just start your story.
I'm glad you made that point, because the last few times I did that, I thought, oh, I shouldn't have said that. But you're right. Thank you for that tip. I really appreciate it.
Okay, now here's my story. Not very well written, but I'll appreciate your comments. So 25 years ago, I joined this business to make money. Somebody invited us to make money. I soon discovered that was not going to be quick money. But anyway, I used the products, and I've used the cleaning products, I've used the children's supplements, and they're great products. So I've used the products for over 25 years. I've remained a faithful customer. And until a year or two ago, my knees were really hurting. So I went to see my doctor. We did a scan, and doctor told me, your knees are giving way. You need to take care of your cartilage. She was very particular. She said cartilage because I was developing a problem with it. And she told me, you're going to have to use painkillers, and then maybe it will be the pills, injections, then maybe surgery eventually. So thinking about it, I turned back and I asked the doctor, what else could I use? What options do I have? So the doctor told me, if you could really find some good supplements that may be helpful for you. So I asked her, what kind of supplements? And then she started telling me about maybe find some calcium, some magnesium, do you use the vitamin D? I said, okay, I use vitamin D because you told me before to use it. Okay, maybe add something else, and then you could get to use some fish oil as well. That would be great. So I remembered that the products that I actually used for my kids, and I used the cleaning products, there were some other supplements. So I went on my journey to find the products and get to learn more about them. And that's how I started to use the products for my knees. And over the year, I've had great results. The doctor also advised me on weight loss, so I've done that, and I've had some great results. So prevention is better than cure. Sometimes I wish I'd started earlier on. So please don't wait. Start now. Do you want to know more?
Yeah, patience, the ending was perfect. The beginning and the meat of it, too much information. That's my take. Now that would be a conversation. You can add more of that stuff. And I think when you say that I first joined the business to make money, you said that a couple of times, to make money. For me, it almost sounded like, oh, all she cares about is money. Now, I'm not saying that people don't, and they are open. I'm wondering if there's a nicer way to say, a softer way to say that. When I was first introduced to Neolife, it was to generate income. I was not, something along those lines. I tried the, I might need to see your whole script and then we can dissect it a little bit, but any other tips? Because I'm thinking that it'd be an easier transition for patients to say, you know what? I first looked at the business, I tried, but for some reason, it just didn't work initially. I think because I hadn't tried the product, or something about, I didn't understand the products, or it wasn't until I started taking the products that I understood the power of the business. And years later, when I revisited the business, that's kind of, I don't know, something along those lines. It's a shorter version, but just understanding that, you know what, I looked at the business how many years ago? It didn't work at that point. Or not that it didn't work.
Timing was not there at the time. My timing, it was not the time, you know, it was something to do with timing, right? It was about timing, maybe.
That's a negative. That's a negative if someone's looking at a business and you say, oh, it didn't work. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I would just start off with the products and then lead in and say, and I realized it was a great business. Maybe not even say that you tried it, because then they're going to think, oh, did the business fail?
Yeah.
Right. I would almost start start off at the story, you know, my kids use the products, the cleaning products, and I didn't really think I needed them myself. But then when I got all these knee issues, you know, my doctor recommended supplements. I thought, oh, I know exactly what product I'm going to use, right? You know, something like that. And I started on Neolife and it worked, right? Just keep it simple, right?
Yeah, they don't need to know the nitty gritty as to why the business didn't work right away. But you could definitely say, because you were introduced, how many years ago, patients originally?
25 years ago.
25 years ago, I was introduced to Neolife. I didn't understand the business that well. Something along those lines. I didn't understand the business. And then you can share your all those health, like the way Mary Ellen just talked about the health benefits. And it wasn't until I had this amazing results with the products. I fell in love with the cleaning products, the children products. Don't talk about like the names of all the products, but just say, and when I saw the value of these incredible products, I got more excited about sharing and building a business.
Okay.
Just a shorter, more passionate, right? And just to the point, right? Like we were talking about earlier.
You have a great
Yeah.
story. Good, very good.
I like the part where you said, take out the first line of, I joined to make money, because I joined to make that money, but then it kind of hangs there for 25 years, like there is no money. So I was thinking, how do I take it out? So I'll just drop that line.
Yeah, because they don't need to know that. I mean, it's just because people don't understand the industry, they can right away think, oh, she did try 25 years ago and it didn't work, right? Like what Joan was saying. Then they start.
And the very odd thing is when you listen to Rico Brown says, give them the business opportunity. Then when they don't like the business opportunity, introduce the products.
Yes.
If there are these products, then somebody could they help?
Yeah. And patience. Yeah. I watched Rico was VP of sales for North America for a little while. He came here. He did a lot of trainings for us here in Canada and in the US. And the culture is different here than in Mexico, okay? Or in Africa, okay? Whereas opportunity to them is almost like they're desperate for opportunity. Whereas in Canada, you have to open people's eyes because we have healthcare, we have welfare, we have credit cards, we have credit lines. So sometimes people they're not hungry for opportunity. Difference. They kind of are, but they don't realize it. They don't know it until you present it and ask them questions. So again, a little bit different of a technique for the different types of groups that you're communicating with. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand? Because I know many of you know Rico. You've heard him talk. Like I said, he's done many the man is incredible, okay? But sometimes the way he presents the business could be tweaked a little bit for our Canadians and in our.
I think you're totally on the mark there, Nada, because there is more reservation where as a culture. So also talk about the business opportunity. I talk about the business opportunity because I knew that I would have a pension. I mean, there's Canada pension, there's also the teacher's pension. I'm thinking, yeah, but that's like carved in stone. I wanted more of that flexibility and freedom. I wanted to have something that I could do that would increase my income down the road after retirement, because too many people depend on that. And they get there, you know how many people are working after retirement because they have to, because they cannot sustain a lifestyle they want. I have statistics on it. And it's a very, very powerful statistic to use we kind of get lulled into this sense of security and safety, being taken care of. But we need to have people look at, what is your pension going to look like? What is your future going to look like, right? And anything can change. There's clawbacks, there's changes, right? So yeah, we do need to talk about the business. Absolutely, I'm more on that than ever. But it is a slightly different way to introduce it.
Another option to like the patients, if she said she was introduced to it as an alternate stream or an additional stream of income. However, the products were so powerful that she was focusing more on building her health, and in doing that realized that they also created an alternate stream of income. So you're not taken away from the fact that there isn't a business aspect, but you're focusing on the products, and that generated the business aspect also. Just another line.
Yeah. Is that a little more clear, Patience, and understanding?
Yeah, Mansour has something to say.
Yes.
The example, Nada, that you were giving of comparing different cultures. So when we watch the Africa Zoom, he also has the business aspect, and many of the things that when we listen to it from this part of the world, you would think that we may not resonate to, whereas over there, I think it has a great impact on that population that he's talking to.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is, Mansoura, he tried that coming to Canada, and some of it didn't resonate with
Yeah, no, so I haven't heard this Rico person, but this the New Life presentation, that the link that we've shared, when you hear the business aspect of it, sometimes you'd feel that it's a lot of money focused, but I think for that audience, that's what they need.
Absolutely, because they're desperate, like they're searching, they're hungry, right? Whereas, you know, as my dad said, when he came here from Croatia, he was hungry. He was really hungry, right? Hadn't had food for days when he escaped from Europe, where he goes, you know, when we used to say we're hungry, he'd look at me and go, you don't know what hungry is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you've lived that, right? So even for myself, having lived in Tanzania, and what is it to be like 18 hours without electricity day in, day out, or standing in the queue to get a kilo of sugar and nothing more. You appreciate life, right? You really do. But for that crowd, like just the enormity of 350 people logging in, that itself is like, wow, those people mean business kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Thank you. I hope that helps patients. Yeah. And again, and you have that international group growing patients. So you would tweak your story differently for the group, right? For that culture. And then for, you know, your, you know, somebody here in North America, you might tweak it just a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Can I share my story?
Sure.
I broke it down into different areas. So I'm not going to be smooth in the sense that because I broke it down into parts here.
Sorry, Liani, can I just, I have a session at 12:45. I'm not trying to, so
yeah, go ahead.
No offense, please. That
Go ahead.
To leave. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You can watch it later. Got the recording. Thanks for your feedback. Really
bye, Mansoura. Talk to you later. Okay, so basically it's the ID story. So I'll say like 14 years ago, I had two young boys, James and Sean, and my husband Steve, and we were enjoying spending quality time with the family. We were a soccer family, we had basketball games, and we were traveling a lot in rep. And fast forward to in 2007, I met Nada. That's the winter of 2007, and where I was a volunteer. We were both volunteers in our church and for our youth ministry. And at the time, I met Nada, and I was curious about, because she was talking about traveling to Africa, and I told her to tell me a little bit more about Neolife. It was GNLD at the time, anyway. And at the time, I was with another company, and I was happy with their products. However, in the spring, so she told me about all that stuff, all the incentives she had. And in the spring, my husband Steve had digestive issues. And I had joint pain, I had hot flashes, and I was tired all the time. And my son had allergies, Sean had tummy problems. And so when I spoke with Nada, she put us on a program. It was a short program, and we got results in a very short time. We all felt better. So it says here, that's how and when. And then it says how I got started. So at the time, I wanted flexibility and then working my own hours and running my own business, because I had done that in Singapore. I ran my dad's successful business in Singapore, and we had just arrived from Singapore to Canada. And I was excited because I was a stay-at-home mom, and I wanted to build my own business, and I wanted to build a successful team. And that time, it would be good to have some financial independence. So fast forward here, I joined Neolife, and what I did was here's my call to action. Okay, so call to action is I enjoyed sharing the products And what I liked about Neolife was the fact that his integrity and credibility, and it offered lots of support to people who are in the business and you're building your team and they have products that work. And I found that I didn't have to be knowledgeable because you learn as you grow. Call to my future. What I like is the fact that I can leave a legacy to my family, and I'm joining the mission to end the trend of chronic disease, which is Neolife's mission statement. Here it says, how would love, at this point, I'm approaching my retirement years, and I've reflected upon how I would survive or how I would continue. And I find that Neolife gives me a great avenue, not only to help my family with the health, continue having good health, but also to help others in their business or even their health. And as I would never retire. Sorry, I'm ad-libbing this. I would never retire as I love helping people. So, you know, then at this point, I'll say, in this day and age where there's a lot of issues with the immune system, you know, the function of your the health of your immune system, this is a good opportunity to get people to be healthy. And the closing is, are you open to a business opportunity? I'm not sure about this part about the business. Are you open to a business opportunity? And then you ask about your health. That part I haven't really got as much, but that's in a nutshell. I'm trying to break it down in that area. Oh, can't hear you.
All the points are great, but I find it's too wordy. There's too much meat.
Okay.
Okay. Any other point? Anybody else? Maybe like a smooth, I know, because you just kind of threw this together. Like the transition needs to be smoother from category to category. So we'll work on that together as well.
Yeah.
You say Neolife a lot. I would say don't mention, I would say instead of Neolife, like, you know, I was introduced to this incredible company, right? Rather than Neolife, because Neolife right at this point, still people don't know what Neolife, at the very end say, you know, you can maybe mention Neolife, but I don't know. I just found it.
I think the reason I did it, because it was an ID story. So if that, and that depends, the tweaking would be, when you said because this was my ID story, so we would be in a Neolife setting. But you're right, yeah. So I would be more aware of not mentioning the company's name at that point, depending on what area.
Again, maybe at the end you can close and say, you know, this great company called Neolife.
Yeah, okay.
You can mention it at the end, but it's just a little too many times throughout. Or any other points from anybody?
Okay, thank you.
Too much detail maybe on the illnesses. What are you thinking? Anybody?
Just write it out and summarize, Leonie. Just write it. You have good points. Like,
okay.
They were saying, you know, write out your story and then decrease it by 50%, and then
right.
But have
So I'll just say various health issues. Then okay.
Yeah. You can say challenges with energy digestion, but not all the conditions or immune system issues, because like people do have immunity is a big thing, because that's related to the allergies, right? So you can just focus on that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And depending who you're talking to, if the person complained they were tired, then key on that one, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Any other feedback from per Leonie? And like I said, I'll work with that and cut it back a little bit with you, Leonie. We can work together on that.
Yeah, you have a good story, Leonie.
Very powerful.
Yeah, thanks.
And I think it's good to close with like a business and product close, because that's where you're at, right? So there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
So I got to go, guys. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for all your feedback. Really appreciate you being on today. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Ellen. Bye. Thanks.
Right?
Anybody else? Oh, sorry, Joe. Did you say something?
Laura May.
I'll put on the PowerPoint after, but most people have gone. Okay.
Oh, that's okay. We're recording it, so they can go back. You want to do that now?
PowerPoint, but
okay. So she's going to share.
But you could take off the recording then, right? Or no?
What, should I or if
does Lori May want to share? She hasn't shared yet.
No, she's busy. She's on the phone. She's been having challenges with her son, so she's okay. She's going to listen after.
Okay.
You want to leave the recording on, Joni, or are you okay?
Birthday PowerPoint.
Oh, okay, maybe,
Take it off, right?
I'll take it off, stop share.
If you're finished.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to thank you all for joining us for our training today, and I will be sending out the recording. I think valuable tips, and I think it'll be really helpful for those of you that are looking at creating a story that's powerful, impactful, emotional, warm, right? I think that's very, very important. So I want to, on next Zoom on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I want to see your light eyes, smile. I want to see your teeth. Okay. And yeah, I want to see all of that on Tuesday. So I'm going to be watching. I'm going to keep keeping an eye on you guys. And yeah, you don't have to be moving around as much. But that's okay.
Maybe you have to give a little sign when you touch your nose or touch your eyes.
All right, guys. Thanks again. I'll stop the recording now. Oh, Joan?
Yeah, go ahead. Stop and then.
Okay, stop the recording. Hang on.